And breaking news coming in from within the Indian Olympic Association. Sources have told headlines today the IOA members are ganging up against their president N Ramachandran to bring a motion of no confidence against him. Headlines today, in fact, has a copy of a confidential letter circulated within the IOA and sent to presidents of the national federations as well, making it clear that the members have lost faith in the leadership of the IOA president N Ramachandran and want him to be removed and replaced by a new president. The letter states the move for his ouster should be made after the visit of the IOC president Thomas Bach, and also clearly mentions the displeasure over the fact that he chose not to take along Secretary General, Treasurer and past presidents of the IOA to meet the IOC president. All right, so now we're joined live by Boria Majumdar. Boria, on a day when the IOC president is visiting India, this is probably the lowest Indian sports can get to.
Absolutely. I mean, make no mistake about it. This has been brewing for the last couple of days. In fact, on the 23rd, this letter was circulated, Himanshu, and this will come into effect tomorrow, because from tomorrow you will see heightened action on this. And if I understand right, having spoken to a number of key IOA members, almost 80% people have signed in. So 80% national federations want President Ramachandran removed because they are saying that he has acted dictatorially. He has not taken the IOA along with him. Now this is the true reality of Indian sport. On a day when the International Olympic Committee president visits your country, there is a rebellion brewing along the sidelines of that visit, and you remove the IOA president. Why are we not surprised? This is the reason why the Indian Olympic Association was suspended by the IOC a couple of years back.
Right. In fact, we're now also joined by Radhika Tongar, who's been tracking Bach's movement through the day. Radhika, any reaction from Bach so far on this IOA letter?
Yes, in fact, Himanshu, when I asked him in the press conference that the IOA, in fact, was having these meetings on the sideline of his visit, trying to pass a no-confidence motion against the president, he laughed off the matter. He said he's not surprised to hear something like that, because this is how the Indian Olympic Association has been functioning. But out there in his words, there was a clear message. He said very clearly that even before I came to know this in the morning meeting, I had advised members of the Indian Olympic Association to put forth a united front and work for the betterment of sports in the country. So obviously the message outlining is clear out there that this is not something that the IOC will take very happily. They have given them their recognition back, but the IOA needs to work on a united front and help for the development of sports and not fight within themselves and try to outdo one and the other.
Right, Boria, although we've got a copy of the letter here with us as well, but share with us the reasons for this loss of faith and the confidence in the working of the IOA president.
This has been going on for some time now, Himanshu, at least for 1 year. I mean, difference of opinion coming to the fore. Take the IOC president's visit. This is the best case scenario to explain to you the situation. Ramachandran, along with the sports secretary, went to Lausanne. The IOA Secretary General and the Treasurer, Anil Khanna, was not even aware. So the Secretary General and the Treasurer, Rajiv Mehta and Anil Khanna, not even aware that such a meeting was taking place. They weren't even aware that the IOC president had been invited to India. They weren't even aware that a meeting between the PMO and the IOC president was being fixed. So nothing like that had even been circulated or told to any of the IOA members. They demanded an executive body meeting on the 26th so that Ramachandran could apprise the members of what is happening, in the sidelines, because none of these members had any clue what the president had been up to. Now, what more do I say? This has been going on for quite some time now. The president has been acting in his own whims and fancies, and the IOA, on the other hand, has been left in the dark. Now, they will obviously bring this motion of no confidence tomorrow. They are claiming 80% federations are with them in trying to oust Ramachandran. They only need 2/3 support. Now, if what they claim is true, then Ramachandran's days as IOA president is numbered.
Right, Boria, Radhika, stay with us. I'll come back to you in a bit. And here's more on the IOC President Thomas Bach's visit to India today. He met Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with the IOA officials and Sports Minister Sarbananda Sonowal earlier today. Later, while addressing a press conference, Bach said he was surprised to hear about the speculation around India bidding to host the 2024 Olympics, and added it was too early for India to have successful games in 2024. There had been a lot of speculation around India's proposed bid to host the Olympics in 2024. However, given the current circumstances with the devastation caused by the earthquake, a formal announcement is only likely in a few weeks from now. The IOA top brass is also believed to have spoken to Bach to convey to the Prime Minister its opposition to the sports code of the government in its current form. Let's in fact now listen into what the Sports Minister had to say after meeting Bach.
So we have welcomed the IOC President and his team to India, and his visit will definitely inspire us for the promotion of sports in the country, and we have discussed about the development of sports in the country. That's all.
What is the main Olympic bidding? Any comments?
We have simply discussed about the development of sports in the country. That's all.
Right, Radhika, let me start with you. What we already know is that Bach has apparently said that it's too early for India to even think of the Olympics. Give us an update on all that he really had to say on this proposed Olympics bid by India.
Yes, Himanshu, in fact, he started off by saying that he was very surprised. He did say that coming into India, we also had heard all these speculations about India trying to mount a bid for the 2024 Olympics. But he made it clear that that was something that was not discussed with the Prime Minister or the Sports Minister at all. He, in fact, went on to say that to launch a successful bid for the 2024 Olympics, it was too soon for India. They needed to work on getting better coaches, better infrastructure, and it takes a lot to launch a successful Olympic bid. So he's made it very clear that this was not the time for India to launch a bid because there's lots of work that needs to be done. He concentrated on that. He said that India should concentrate on that, and he was happy with the response that the Prime Minister had given. He said that the PM of India was interested in sports and understood the need of working towards sports development, but a successful bid is something that India can't think of launching right now, and he said he was surprised to hear about the speculations, and nothing of this sort was discussed with any of the parties out here.
Right, Boria, I've got the IOA letter here with me, and it very clearly states the IOA's intention to host the Olympics, or at least pose a bid for it. Should we expect a formal announcement soon?
You know, we broke this story first thing in the morning on headlines today that nothing of this nature, anything on the proposed Olympic bid will be mentioned today. We were fairly sure, and as it's transpired, Radhika confirmed it to you just now, Himanshu, that nothing along those lines was even discussed. Maybe a week, 10 days down the line, once the earthquake, natural calamity thing settles down a little bit, and you know, that is over, the tragedy is over, only then can you expect an announcement. But as you know, I mean, from Thomas Bach's statement, it's going to be a Herculean, humongous task on the part of India to launch a bid. But expect an announcement on this about week, 10 days from now, but nothing whatsoever today or any time tomorrow or day after, because the government doesn't want to sort of, you know, distract attention from the relief efforts at hand. They think that the Olympics or mounting a bid would be a distraction and it would be adverse publicity for the government. So no chance whatsoever to hear anything in the coming week.
Right, Radhika, one last question to you before I wrap up this discussion around Bach's visit. The IOA also told Bach, apparently, to convey to the Prime Minister their opposition to the sports code of the government in its current form. Do we have any update on that as well?
Yes, in fact, Himanshu, that is what clearly all the members of the IOA present in the meeting in the morning conveyed to Mr. Thomas Bach. All the 5 vice presidents spoke to him during their speeches and said that they wanted autonomy in the Indian Olympic Association. They did not want the interference of the government. And Thomas Bach, in his opening remarks to the press, made it very clear that he had spoken to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister had assured him that he wanted autonomy in sports, and he was all for letting the societies work under it as well. Obviously, the International Olympic Committee has in the past supported the government's move of working towards good governance and all the regulations. But the new constitution of the IOA that has been formed, which has been sort of approved by the IOC as well. So as of now, he did mention that. He did say that he had spoken to the Prime Minister about maintaining autonomy, and the Prime Minister seemed supportive as long as good governance was followed. So obviously, the IOC seems to be happy with the response that the Indian Prime Minister has given.
My reaction is sought on unverified state information. Please verify before seeking any reaction. जिस आरोप की पुष्टि तक नहीं हुई, उस पर मेरा उत्तर मांगा जा रहा है, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। ये राजनीति के तहत जो नाम बदनाम करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। और आईसीसी की मेल में भी जिस व्यक्ति का जिक्र किया गया है, बड़ी चालाकी के साथ उसके नाम के साथ सस्पेक्टेड बुकी और ब्रैकेट में अनवेरिफाइड लिख दिया है, ताकि केवल नाम को उछाला जाए जब बाकी मुद्दों की चर्चा हो रही है। ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। इस तरह की राजनीति से बचना चाहिए।
Right, Boria, it's BCCI versus N Srinivasan. No more leaks. It's an all-out war now.
Absolutely, and this was expected, Himanshu. Yesterday at the working committee meeting, I can tell you that this was discussed on the sidelines. Because this email was leaked, this letter by the ICC was leaked selectively to the media yesterday afternoon. The timing is extremely fishy. It's not that this list came to the ICC yesterday or 2 days back. This list has been there for a while. So why is it yesterday? The timing was discussed by all the BCCI members and everybody.
Right, Boria, I'll have to cut you short. Onto the IPL now, and Punjab have won the toss and have elected to field first against Hyderabad at Mohali. Let's very quickly take a look at the key players from both the sides. Murali Vijay, George Bailey, David Miller, the big players, of course, from Punjab. Now let's take a look very quickly at the other side as well. David Warner and, of course, Shikhar Dhawan, the two big openers, two players their team badly depends on. Let's now quickly take a look at the points table as well. Punjab at the bottom spot there with just 2 wins, while Rajasthan, of course, at the top. So quite a lot of ground to cover there for Punjab.